welcome back everyone, welcome back to the grand finals, those grand finales here of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle number 34. Again, this is our bi-weekly tournaments. It is back here for the new off-season of StarCraft 2 post EWC, and we have our two top finalists, our two top players. And spawning in the right-hand corner of Magnetic North, we have the South Korean Terran player, we have the Red Terran representing Shopify, it is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, as Spider-Man meme, 2-Axe Reaper versus 2-Axe Reaper. let's go. Oh, do we scout each other? In bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, we have the Blue Terran. We do scout each other somewhat as the SUVs do pass by. It is Percival. And here we go. We have the 2-Axe versus the 2-Axe. We're about to cloud it up, Abby. If you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. No, he's scouting. I mean, he saw the SCV. Like ByuN, he saw the SCV, so he's checking, and he will confirm. ByuN has the advantage of knowing what's coming his way, and he will even he'll even just be an annoyance here. GG. GG, well played. The proxy is shut down and ByuN takes game number 1. GG. Ay, papi. Ay. GG, well played. Again, remember, the SCVs, they pass by each other, so ByuN, he had the wherewithal to check where that SCV was going, to check for the proxy. Percival could have done the same, but he did not, so he had no reaction to seeing the SCV in the center of said map. Did not check for proxy location. With that, GG, ByuN does take the first win. Does take the first win. Let's go. What a game. That's TvT. That's TvT. I should say that's Korean TvT. True. See, this is why Clem was bullied out of TvT, and why he plays Protoss. He's like, yo, I'm done with this. I'm done with this nonsense, papi. Hi. Too many times. Oh no. So here we go. We're getting into our next game. Gonna be loading into NO2. Gonna be loading into Tokmak. Oh boy. We go. Now, do we do the same thing? Do we? No. Hopefully we're not smurging. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokmak, we have the South Korean Terran player, we have the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. In the series 1-0 after that very fast. Predictions didn't even close by the time that game ended, by the way. It is ByuN. It didn't even close. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran. It is Percival. Let's go. Now, what I was about to say, especially getting into the finals, is, I mean, I couldn't really say anything as we were getting into the proxies. This time, the SCVs are being kept at home for the time being. But a shout out to Dubu. Shout out to Dubu as well. Thank you so much for jumping in, for helping to admin and run the event as well. The Turtle Tussle is very, very late in Europe, and typically Kuro is mainly adminning, it's either Kuro or myself adminning these tournaments. But it is very late in Europe, and it is, especially with the podcast starting up later on tonight, it is a little bit unreasonable to ask for a European admin to stay up and to stay awake and to run said event. So thank you so much to DB. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Much love, man. Much love. Este DB. Gracias. Let's go. Much love, much love. As we're getting into those finals. And again, this time there's no proxy. This time we have the racks back at home for ByuN. This time racks back at home for Percival as well. We have a mirrored start. We can see the Percival, he is checking for proxies. I don't blame him. He does check the 3rd location, and he does check the 4th location as well, just in case. Ooh, as the SV is thrown down, and ByuN does confirm the natural. So ByuN does confirm. SCV scouts are very rare. They're very rare in TvT, so ByuN to move out like this, he was a little bit terrified of said proxy as well. He pulls away. Likewise, Percival, he does check his triangular 3rd location before moving out. So we are building up. we are settling in. From here, we'll see where our players do deviate. We do have a slightly faster factory here from the side of Percival. Let's go Reaper Reactor into said factory. ByuN back at home, going for his own factory follow-up. Settling in. ByuN does go up the ramp. Does have double the Reaper count, and with that, if he can kill the first Reaper, that's going to be game. Oh, God. Does dive in. Thankfully, Percival does pull away. He has to pull the boys. So far, we'll lose one SCV. Yeah, one SCV goes down. We're buying time for the Hellions. Hellions do arrive, and Percival holds. He does hold on, does defend, cleans up both Reapers. Whew, again, that could have been so much worse. But Percival, he will gain map control. Behind this, making another wave of Hellions. He's rallying, he's reinforcing, he's pushing. ByuN, you can see him evacuate the natural. He's oversaturated in the main, intentionally so. He knows he cannot defend his mineral line. So he does abandon it. Yeah, Percival checks. He checks, there's nothing there. And ByuN, he's going for a very fast third CC. Hyper greed out of ByuN. So faster base here. ByuN is being quite greedy, rushing into his economy. And meanwhile, we do see Percival going into high flight rotors. Are we going into mech? Mech is an option. Mech is available here. Reaper gets called out. As Percival is coming in quite hard here into those Banshees. And we'll see if he goes for a second factory. Or if he goes for an add-on swap after the Cyclone. Because it could still be add-on swap here into Sim. I mean, I say add-on swap should be into tank production, to be fair. Getting another Cyclone. Okay. Building up his battle mech. As ByuN is playing more standard, building up his tanks, building up his Ravens. Third CC now has begun for Percival, but of course far later than that of ByuN, so ByuN, he will have the economic lead as we get into the mid game. So ByuN, he will get away with this. He will get away with this. There's going to be a lot of pressure on the Banshees to get some damage done. Scan into the main, reveals the additional Raxes. Does see how late it is, that is a tell. Scan also does get eyes on the later CC, but there's the add-on swap Stim, so it is going to be ByuN. So ByuN tank out of Percival. We're waiting to see if it was going to be an add-on swap or extra factories. Was the swap, ByuN spotted it. And these Banshees have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do here. Heads into the natural. Marines are in position. Gets a handful of Marines, not bad. Go shout to the speed Banshees. It's going to be 5 Marines going down. A very nice harass. No economic damage, but damage nonetheless. Percival, he's rallying. And it's crucial that Percival is here. What is his goal? His goal isn't to break ByuN, it is to contain and make sure that ByuN doesn't land his third. Right? Remember, he scanned earlier, he saw the Raxes. He saw the production. And that's why he's set up here at that third location. It's all about delaying the base. Main base is, sorry, the third base is floating over. ByuN tries to break out. Nice Ulcons. Does break through the Hellions. And even gets a Ulcon on the Cyclone. That brutal pickup. Cyclone goes down. Hellions go down as well. Ay, ay, ay. Percival, he was just a little bit too far back to support his army. Tank is within range of the CC. Does force a lift. And he gets out of here. Yeah, Percival has to get the hell out of here. Does want to lose those tanks. Here, forced to engage. Nice auto turrets. They turn away. Vikings getting low. Tanks are exposed. There's only 2 tanks left. They're on their own. Up. He wants them. ByuN wants the tanks. He's going to siege up lands the Vikings in time. And he's going to be cleaned up here. Yeah, the Banshee should shut this down. Does get both tanks, but he trades. He trades tanks for tanks. Percival holds, and that was an overextension from ByuN. Does overextend. But he gets his third. He gets his third base, so does Percival. Scan into the main. Ooh, going into Reactor Deliberator. Let's go. I mean, again, Percival, he does have that Viking lead. He just reset the Viking count. So he knows. He knows he has the freedom here to go into Libs. Liberators, they reign supreme in this matchup. Air control is so important in TvT because of the Liberator. And ByuN losing all those Vikings, it's going to be a brutal mid-game here. It's just going for drop play. It's going for drop play. He already has 1/1 upgrades. In a head-on fight, I do favor Percival, as he does have the Viking lead, the Liberator lead as well. Oh, spots the drop. They spot each other. Banshee into the main. Percival, no reaction. He did not notice. Yeah, he didn't notice the drop. Army gets in. Gets into the main. Has the upgrade lead as well. Can he snipe some of those Vikings? We're now just going for the SCVs. And brutal damage here. 11, 12 SCV kills. Ay. Very nice kiting out of ByuN. Takes down 19. Gets every SCV in the main. Takes down every SCV except for the one here. And the Gas Geyser, 19 SCV kills. That is critical damage. Ay. And ByuN moves out. ByuN moves out. He has that economic lead. The Liberators, they were dealt with. So ByuN is sharking around. Now he still has to respect the tanks. Speaking of, Jesus. Does take his tank shot to the face. ByuN makes the stand. He cleans up all the Marines. Barely. Barely does win the fight when it comes to the Bio, but there are 3 tanks here on the high ground. ByuN, he shouldn't be able to push in. And Percival still has that Viking lead. True. Still has all the Vikings. ByuN is still rallying. Now, this is very ByuN-esque when it comes to TvT. I don't know if you noticed, but ByuN, he has 31 Marines. Like, he has a massive Marine lead here. It's very Bio-heavy, very Marine-heavy, I should say. And the goal here is drop play. It's just non-stop drop play, and he already dropped into the main base once. No turrets. No turrets, and the Vikings are not in position. There's a massive opening into the main, and ByuN goes for it. He goes into the main base once again. This time with tanks. Does siege. Marines, they stim in. They get on top of the first tank. He gets one. He gets both. Yeah, both tanks go down. And from here he can pull away. He can pull the safety to the safety of the tanks. Gets another mineral line. And he's pulling Percival apart. 18 SCV kills. ByuN, he will lose this army, but it is worth it. He still out trades. Still has the better upgrades. And he can just keep going. And even if Percival gets turrets now, it's too late. Like, the damage has been done. It's been how many? It's been 41 SCV kills. Crazy damage. And we're still going. He's still abusing this position. Thankfully, this time the Vikings, they move in. Thankfully. Oh, no. Oh.
Command center upgrade.
ByuN does pull away. Pulls away. Main army rotates on the right-hand side. ByuN still has momentum. Moving into the main. Does move in, does 9 mining. Does contain Percival. While ByuN gets his own 4th. So his own 5th base. Yeah, 5th base on the way for ByuN. Double drop coming in from behind, but there are reinforcements back at the 3rd. Percival defends. Okay. So far, so good. In a head-on fight, I believe Percival does have the tank lead. Yeah, he's up in tank. So in a head-on fight, I favor Percival. But ByuN has a very mobile army with Master Marine. Percival runs into the tanks. Oh, does catch it on siege, not bad. And Percival stims in, tanks are late to siege, and ByuN, he does hold on to position, does siege in time. Ay, ay, ay. Does barely maintain. But again, there's not really much support for these tanks. Percival, he can break this. Can break this position. But ByuN is now reinforcing, so never mind. And he sims in. He does go for the sim, goes for the dive. Nice target crying out of Percival, but the tanks do siege, and he breaks through. Yeah, he breaks through, comes in for the flank as well. ByuN, he crashes into the main army. He breaks the 5th. GG gets called, and ByuN, he takes a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew, GG, well played. There were some opportunities here for Percival for sure when it came to catching out some of the key units, when it came to denying the third base, delaying the third base, but unfortunately he did have a massive opening into his main, and twice we saw ByuN taking advantage of that opening, Dune dropping into the main base. This is ByuN's style in TvT. He often does forego Viking production, he forgoes tanks in favor of Mass Marine. It's really risky because if you can imagine a world where the drops were denied. If Percival had either his Vikings in position or turrets in position, if he denies those drops, if ByuN doesn't do that crippling economic damage, then Percival takes the lead. Then Percival does take the lead instead. So it's a really risky style that ByuN goes for, and it's very hit and miss. Like, we've seen it succeed, we've seen it fail as well. Like, as we mentioned, just to emphasize, if these drops fail to get damaged, then ByuN's army does become worse, as he's stuck with Mass Marine against a heavy tank Viking force instead. But last he was able to pop off. And here we go, we're getting into game number 3. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify, leading the series 2-0. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player, the South Korean Terran, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is Percival. Here we go. As we are settling in, and welcome one and all to 10,000 feet. At 10,000 feet is one of the TLMC 21 maps, and it is one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool. Very short resistance by ground. Short resistance by ground. We have massive tumors in the center that do expire over time as well. There are tumors all over the place that do open up the map even further. To help defend, to help have a secure early game, you do have a triangular third. There's a triangular third base here, which is relatively defendable. There's of course high ground next to it, but it's a little bit further back. And of course, you do have to mine through these patches to gain access to that triangular third. The fourth base, though, is much more spread out, is much more exposed. So getting into the mid game should be more difficult here, and no surprises, for the first time this series, double gas versus double gas. So delayed expansions, faster factories for both ByuN and Percival. So here we go. Which makes sense. It does make sense here on a smaller map. Go. So yeah, why did he try to attack with SCVs? That was to buffer to survive, just because it was out of position, if you recall. Like, Percival was very out of position. So the goal there was to live. As I believe that's in reference to the first drop into the main. So now we are building up. And we're settling in. And from here, we'll keep an eye on the third base timings. We'll keep an eye on said starport, on said 111 follow-up. We'll see if we go into Banshee play again, and we'll see if we commit into Banshees or if we have a different approach. There are 2 base all-ins you can go for. You can go double starport into 2-port massive lacking production, 2-port 2 base all-in. That is still quite trendy in the current meta. Did make a resurgence at the start of the year. Ooh, as Reaper goes down. Yeah, better start for ByuN. Does catch the Reaper. ByuN getting to a safety Cyclone. Percival back at home. We'll see if he goes for the add-on swap. Let's see, did make additional Hellions. And he, may be able to delay. Gets Reaper, yeah, gets an SCV kill, but does not delay. And catching out the Reaper Hellion. Look at some okay trades here from Percival. They're okay. Gets one worker, doesn't delay the command center. And we're both following up with Ravens. Getting into interference matrix, working towards that disable. Percival is getting there. Outside of that, we have relatively similar starts. Of course, Percival, he went into additional Hellion production, so we delayed the Cyclone. Outside of that, we're kind of calming down. Some of the other features of this map include the exposed forward base. You can siege up behind or on the other side of the cliff face, and you can actually hit the mineral line. So it is very difficult to maintain the center expansion. The linear third base, or the would-be fourth base here, is a little bit more spread out as well. But that's by design, right? Like, this is meant to be a rush map. It's meant to favor aggression. Both players are expanding. Their TCs are on the way. Ooh, Percival's going to be the first to move out. And we'll see what he can get done. With his Ravens, he technically can break the natural. Comes down to the disables, comes down to the auto turrets. We'll see what he can get done. How many tanks? So far, we have 1 tank in position. Second tank just popped out. And barely within range of the CC. Barely within range, but the command center does complete. ByuN's holding on me while big shout to Sand, and the shout's papi, fala galera, papi, fala galera. Obrigado. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great cast. Hope you had a great time. For those that are curious, Ian, of course, he's a Brazilian caster. So much love, papi, papi, much love. Obrigado. Este, Ian. Ooh, does go within range. Yeah, not bad. 1 tank goes down. All shots going to be thrown down. And ByuN, can he break out? Can he get on top of those tanks? He barely cannot. Yeah, he cannot in the end. Percival, he should barely hold on. Breaks through the Marines. Trying to get on top of those tanks. Brings down 1. But ByuN is holding. Yeah, ByuN, he barely does hold on. Was very close, very clutch. In the end, Percival did lose one of his Ravens. The tanks are not close enough. And ByuN can expand. Percival has to get out of here. Like, he cannot stick around. Does on siege, does pull away. Does pull back home. With that, both players can take their expansions. Now ByuN does have momentum himself. Checking the vision here, checking the army supplies. The tanks are neck and neck, but again, ByuN has 1 extra Raven, and that can mean everything. Although he's setting up, Jesus, with 5 tanks? Oh my god. He's setting up here at his 3rd. ByuN, he rotates over towards the right-hand side. He gets spotted. Disables one. Disables one tank. Takes down the sensor tower. Doesn't quite get much else. Yeah, pulls away at the same time, drops into the main. This time Percival does notice. Yeah, does notice, does keep up. Percival responds. ByuN is forced back. So far, so good. Yeah, unlike on Tokamak, there's no massive opening into the main. Here, the third base does protect the main, so it is more difficult to pull off these drops. Yeah, speaking of, drop is denied. But ByuN is going for the add-ons, and Percival's out of position. Yeah, it's late to respond, late to react. Can we? We should be able to deny 1-1. Yeah, 1-1 will complete, but 2-2 will be delayed. The E-base go down. Moving forward. Does get one tank. One tank goes down. ByuN takes down the gas geyser. And ByuN can maintain this position, especially with the Ravens. Can maintain. Getting his fourth base on location. ByuN taking an economic lead. And we can see Percival trying to get a flank ready. Okay, let's go. Here comes the Mass on Siege. He's moving in. Oh, does get spotted. Okay, spotted. Here we go. Just collapse in. Tanks do siege. But ByuN, he does disable. Yeah, he does disable those tanks. ByuN, he should clean up all the Marines, but barely doesn't get onto the siege line. Percival does take the fight. Let's go. Very nice. He doesn't lose a single tank. Oh my god. Doesn't lose any tanks. But at the same time, ByuN does push towards the third. Gets into the middle line. 7 SCV kills. Nice mining. But Percival's counterattack should be brutal. It should be brutal here. And cleans up the tanks, and I'm a little bit afraid to look here. What is the tank count looking like? We have 6 tanks. 6 tanks to 1. Massive tank lead for Percival. Likewise, the Vikings are on the way. And ByuN doesn't even have a 2-2 lead either. Like, 2-2 is pretty evenly tied between the players, despite killing those eBays. So ByuN, he just stuck around a little bit too long. He got cleaned up. Percival does have the advantage. What does ByuN have? The Marine lead, of course. As always, like ByuN, he has more Marines, more bio. It's a cheaper army. But breaking these siege positions is difficult. And again, unlike Tokamak, there's no easy way into the bases. He's going for it though. He's going for the drop, where there's already 1 turret in position. Sorry, 2 turrets in position. The medevacs are already low. So Percival, he should hold. Should. Jump into the natural. Okay, does boost in. 1 medevac will go down. Ooh, that was almost a full medevac as well. Marines, they barely slip into the main. Once again, Percival's going to try to hold on. He will lose the SCVs. 10 SCVs do go down. Percival does win the fight. At a cost. Likewise, Percival, he wants to go for the third base of ByuN. ByuN has not been defending at all this game. So ByuN does not have the defensive setup. Mass Marine gets in. Dropping into main against 0 turrets. ByuN, he's exposed. Yeah, completely exposed. Tank goes down as well. Nice concave, better position. We have Marines, sorry, medevac support as well. Yeah, much more efficient trade here for Percival. Does get cleaned up, but he trades well. He trades well, he's alleviating that pressure. ByuN still has the army supply lead. He also has the economic lead, I mean, thanks to the drop into the main. Tries to stem in. Still trying to stabilize. And so far, Percival, he is maintaining these crucial positions here. He's sieged up on the fringe bases. It's not easy to push into. Yes, ByuN does have the slight supply lead, or really, I should say, economic lead. Getting to 3-3. Both players going to mass starports. We're building up. We're looking to cut the map in half. ByuN's looking for a way in. And he shouldn't find one. It commits. Marines are going to be punished. Finds all these Vikings though. Ay, ay, ay. 4 Vikings go down. Nice catch here from ByuN. And Percival, he gets caught out of position. Brutal pickoffs. Fusion cores on the way. That should be for Liberators, for Liberator range. Technically, we could rush into mass BC. But those are reactors. Yeah, those are reactors, not tech labs, so we're expecting mass lib. Speaking of Liberators on the way for Percival. As we mentioned before, TvT does become all about that Sky Terran. Nice catch. ByuN out of position. Planetary goes down. At the same time, ByuN does move in. Breaks through the siege line. And ByuN who loses one base, but at the same time, he wants the other. And cleans up the tanks, cleans up the Vikings as well. ByuN repositioning, getting on top of the planetary. Siege. Yeah, Percival, he's spread out. Lose the base. Yeah, at the same time, going for the junior over to the main. ByuN is in position. He defends. Defends. Meanwhile, at the same time, leads out a couple of tanks. We're getting messy. We're getting messy, man. ByuN still enjoying the better economy, thanks to the center, thanks to the base in the center. Still up almost 20 workers. And ByuN is remaxing with Vikings. So finally, ByuN is getting to his Viking army. Liberator range is on the way into Liberators. Going into something more traditional. Getting into Viking Lib. Percival is holding onto that bottom left base. Moving out for a counterattack. We spoke earlier about the center expansion, and Percival, he wants to try to apply pressure. He's trying. Okay, it's all about positional play. Percival is getting caught out. Losing Ravens. Let's barely hold his own. And Percival, he's setting up for the surround. CC is going to go down, but this army for ByuN here is trapped. And Percival, he will clean this up. It's going to be 4 tanks. Okay, Sims in. 4 tanks going to be cleaned up. A nice catch here by Percival. Catching out the Vikings as well. Better fight. Didn't lose anything. I don't think meaningful, I should say. Oh, ByuN has 11 Vikings. Okay, he's switching out of Mass Marine. Catching out both of those Vikings. Medivacs, I should say. Medivacs go down. Tanks getting caught out as well. Percival coming in from behind. Again, Percival, he has Mass Raven, but he can't defend themselves. He's hunting for those Ravens. At the same time, Liberation towards the bottom left, getting 7 SCVs. And Percival getting pulled apart. And Percival forced to go into Thor production. Oh, I mean, this is a way to recover if you're down in Vikings, right? If you have less Vikings, you need some other anti-air So Thors are on the way. Not ideal, but better than nothing. Let's catch some Liberators. And ByuN is making 5 Vikings at a time. Ideally, should be replenishing those Liberators as well. Should be. ByuN setting up at the center, throwing down a wall of turrets, wall of center towers. ByuN looking to contain Percival. So Percival's moving in. Gets a tank. Nice pick up. Goes down. You can see ByuN is trying to zone away those Ravens. So the way that this dynamic works, I should emphasize here, is that ideally ByuN wants to zone away those Ravens. Ideally, the Ravens want to get in and disable everything. And disable the siege line. Speaking of... Ravens, they threaten the dive. Nice disables. Gets 2. 2 disables for the Vikings. Yeah, Vikings out of position. Percival takes the fight, breaks through the tanks. And much better engagement from Percival. Getting another tank. Oh. As Percival does pull away. Does reposition. More Liberators on the way for ByuN. Oh, a little bit too close. Tough misposition his army. As the tanks that were left behind. Nice pick up side of ByuN. And we spoke earlier, it's so difficult to maintain this center base, especially if you don't have map control. Tank flow is going up, Liberator have arrived as well, and I don't see how Percival can mine from here. It's not gonna happen. ByuN just bullying this base. And he has his own, of course. His own. Getting to more starports. Oh, Thren's a stim. Vikings to get 1 Raven. Ooh, a big overextension though. A nice catch out of Percival. Takes down all the Vikings. Vikings go down. ByuN forces stim. Jesus, that was how many? 18 Vikings are now for ByuN. Viking count was reset. You all believe that was a kill on the planetary. What's a kill? Clutch on siege. Just waiting time. Once again, you see him trying to snipe those Ravens. ByuN is completely foregone Viking production, by the way. He's making purely tanks. Where are the Vikings? There we go, now starting up. A little bit delayed there from ByuN. Delayed Viking production. Percival, he's just been out trading. He's pushing in. Getting on top of the tanks. The mass Ravens have been paying off very well. He's up the tank army. Now, the scary thing here, even though Percival has been taking some better trades and better fights here, especially in recent times, ByuN, he has more bases. He has a greater economy. He has a bank. So ByuN can afford these trades. Percival cannot. As ByuN has all of his bases, ByuN is up to expansions, basically. He has the base in the center left, and he has the center base as well. Percival doesn't have his center base, and never expand on the right-hand side either. Never maintain that expansion. So ByuN is up 2 bases. So despite the better fights from Percival, I can't really afford it. Gee, speaking of being able to afford it, ByuN is making 10 Vikings at a time. Jesus. It's a lot of Vikings. Once again, ByuN scans. Like, ByuN's win condition is deny the bases, right? Deny the mining. Make sure that Percival can't afford these trades. Because Vikings have arrived, they punish. Percival is trying to mine from center right. SCVs are going down. Everywhere, actually. ByuN has no vision. That's, of course, a recent change, but the Liberator does have less vision than, of course, its actual range. Marines, they step in. Does force a reaction. So he will clean this up. That's still going to be 16 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. They can shoot further than they can see. That's still 21 SCV kills. And ByuN is maxed. ByuN is maxed out. And again, Percival, he's been having some really impressive fights, but it may not matter. Not anymore. Ay, ay, ay. He finally gets the center base up and running. He finally expands. And ByuN, he wants it. He wants the base. Little zips. Liberators are cleaned up. ByuN is still pushing. He has how many Vikings? He has 17. 17 Vikings. Making 6 Liberators at a time. I mentioned it earlier, but again, TvT is all about air control in the late game. The freedom is almost here. Brings down one. Brings down one Liberator. There's only 2 Thors. More Liberators have arrived. He commits. Yeah, he's going for the dive. He goes to the dive. One final break at it from Percival. But again, he's broke. Oh, God. Yeah, Liberators are repositioned. Thor goes down. Gets on the Raven. Another 2 Ravens even. 3 Ravens. And Percival, he's out of money. He's just run out of steam. He just has no economy here. No mining bottom left, no mining in the center. No SCVs. He's broke. He's been burning money trying to save that planetary. And again, first he had some really impressive moves. Like he straight up was having better fights. He had better fights, better engages. He was being very efficient with those Ravens, I should say. Very efficient. Even out positioning at times, but GG gets called. He runs out of money, runs out of semen. ByuN, he will take the series 3-0, becoming this week's Tenacious Turtle Tussle number 34 champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to ByuN. Does claim the series. We did have a bit of a back and forth here, the one-sided scoreline, but shout out to Percival. He was having some better fights, was having some better trades. He was having a stronger time here, maintaining his bases, defending against the drop play, at least getting into a longer game state. But as we mentioned, ByuN, he had map control, and ByuN was up to expansions. ByuN, his mining was untouched. He was freely mining from so many bases, and Percival couldn't do anything to deter that economy, to deny any of that economy. ByuN, he was up to what, 87 workers. He had over double the economy of Percival towards the end of the game, and Percival just couldn't keep up. He could not keep up with those trades. Even though he was at times trading more efficiently, he couldn't afford to replenish his army. He was broke. He was broke. GG, well played. Congratulations to ByuN. Ay, ay, ay. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, ByuN does claim the series, and with that, ByuN will be this week's champion. Shout out to Percival coming in second place. Again, I don't feel like the scoreline really does it justice. Percival, he did hold his own, especially here in the final game. Maybe a little bit less so in some of the others, but here in game 3, it did hold his own. GG. GG, well played. And with that, again, congratulations to ByuN, shout out to Percival, shout out to Young Yakov and Shameless as well. Again, they did make a series out of it in the semifinals. They held their own, so big shout out to Young Yakov, big shout out to Shameless, especially because they are European players as well. It is very late over in Europe, and shout out to all the competitors, even those from the Americas, of course, as that is what this tournament is designed for some more North American and Latin American competition and players. Players like Mute, players like Greenert, and of course many others. So GG, well played. Otherwise, with that, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. Once again, a big shout out to ByuN in the chat as well for adminning, for helping to admin, helping to run the tournament as well. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. I do appreciate it as well. Thank you. As again, this is a bi-weekly tournament. Every fortnight, every 2 weeks, we do host a Turtle Tussle. So in another 2 weeks, we're gonna have another one of these tournaments. Meanwhile, you can see our weekly schedule here. We are gonna be live once again at 7 p.m. KST. That's gonna be at 9 p.m. AEST. That'll be in 7.5 hours. 7.5 hours. We're gonna be live with the podcast. So that is our weekly talk show. Weekly talk show where we catch up with all things StarCraft. What do we have this week? I know there was some interviews. I believe there was an interview with Rotterdam. There was an interview with Hero as well, so we're going to be going over those interviews. Likewise, we have some tournament results, and what else do we have? We're double checking here. All right, we have the official announcement of Blizzard, the Blizzard's Chinese server coming back. We already spoke about the rumors of that and how that was on the horizon, how we had some like unconfirmed announcements of that, but now we have full confirmation, of course. What else do we have? We have more details regarding miniatures, and we have Whitera. He of course did announce his autobiography as well, so big shout out to Whitera. We already had some interviews with Whitera earlier last year regarding what was happening in Ukraine, and it was really insightful. It was really cool to hear his origin, hearing about PC cafes and PC bangs back in the day, and how he would often go there and even skip school and skip classes to compete. That was back in Brood War, of course. So yeah, it was really cool to hear Whitera's story, and I think that was just an interview. His autobiography is going to have even more of that, of course. So yeah, do recommend checking it out. Do recommend supporting it, of course. And of course, we have all the other tournament results as well. So plenty to discuss, plenty to go over during the podcast. Do check it out. Again, in 7 hours time is a weekly talk show, weekly wrap-up show more than anything. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Again, when it comes to our next tournament broadcast, it is going to be tomorrow evening. You can see there at 1 a.m. KST. That'll be Saturday morning. That'll be at 3 a.m. AEST. That is going to be the Platinum StarCraft League tournament for the month of October. So the October monthly is going to be this Friday, and we have the RSL, the Rival StarCraft League qualifiers over the weekend. Now, I don't know if I'm going to commit to those qualifiers. It's going to be quite an intense weekend, and depending on how tired I am after the Platinum StarCraft League cast, we might skip out on that first RSL cast. We'll see how things line up. It's going to be an intense schedule. It's going to be intense, but otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go get some breakfast, and then I'm going to pass out because I'm casting on 3 hours of sleep. I do apologize for being a little bit low energy at times. Again, I am very, very sleep deprived. I'm going to go get some food. I'm going to go pass out. And ideally, I need to wake up a little bit earlier to be able to watch the interviews, to be able to discuss them before the podcast. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Once again, if you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon. We have our Patreon, of course. That does help fund our tournaments. It doesn't help fund this tournament, the Turtle Tussle, but it does help fund the Tuna Cup alongside all of our other monthly tournaments as well. So you can support us via Patreon. All that money goes towards that funding and supporting those tournaments. Likewise, you can also follow us over on the socials, YouTube, YouTube. YouTube is the place to be. We upload to YouTube on a daily basis, every single day on YouTube, so make sure you support us there. You can tune into those VODs as we have plenty of content. If you see something that you like here and if you cannot watch it live, then YouTube is the place to be. Otherwise, we'll see you guys later on tonight for some podcasts or tomorrow for some Platinum StarCraft League. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. Bienvenidos. Ciao.